Starlord aka Peter Quill is a character who dates back to the 70s, although Quill wouldn't really come into prominence until 2004, when he was written into main roles in the Annihilation storylines and the Thanos Imperative. It was then that he became the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, when the team's comic was relaunched in 2008 and blew up further after Chris Pratt played the character in the 2014 MCU film. Like many other superheroes, the character has had a slew of different iterations pop up across the Marvel Multiverse over the years. And today we are counting down our picks for the top 10 alternate versions of Starlord. Let's get to it. And at number 10, Earth 691 War of the Worlds. Earth 691 is the home of the Guardians of the Galaxy from the 31st century. This version of Starlord is the king of the Spartax Empire. Now while that seems pretty cool, it is a lot less impressive than it sounds. The Spartax Empire only had a remnant war fleet remaining, which was called upon by the Guardians of the Galaxy along with other surviving leaders of the Galactic Council. Born on Spartax in the year of 2985, Starlord was a rogue noble of a dead lineage, joining other notable cosmic heroes on the council including the Supreme Intelligence and Gladiator. The council was gathered to discuss a temporal anomaly which reset their reality back to a time before war was waged, a war that they had already won. Starlord would end up fighting alongside the other members of the council in order to give the Guardians a chance to escape after a surprise ambush by the Brotherhood of the Badoon interrupted their meeting. Moving on to number 9, Peter Quill from 1602. Earth 311 is a timeline that takes place in the year 1602. Think of it as if the Marvel characters existed in 17th century Europe. Peter is a member of the Gardener's Men, a troupe of players who performed in England not far from London. One day they were attacked by a group of beasts in the woods, and then were aided by the witch hunters Angela and Lady Sarah. The troupe ended up defeating them, discovering traces of magic in the beasts' bodies. They would accompany the witch hunters, and later, after fighting against a Faustian named Edwin Brock, Shakespeare would write a play to immortalize Angela, which the Gardener's Men then performed. Each of the troupe has their own specific weapon, with Peter using a crossbow. Madame GAMORA, the alternate of GAMORA in this timeline, also shares a similar kind of banter with Peter as their MCU counterparts do, which is pretty fun. Moving on to number 8, Nova Peter Quill. This version of Quill is Nova, hailing from Earth 94241. And his story begins with him and his partner GAMORA roaming the galaxy, working as thieves searching for the Infinity Stones. They stole the Space Stone from the Nova headquarters as a means of getting rid of the Annihilation Wave. Thanos would double-cross their allies, the Bacchian clan, and steal the Infinity Stones they had in their possession. Starlord and GAMORA, having bought Nova Stars from the Bacchians, used them alongside Groot to fight against the monster Thanos created with the stones, keeping it distracted while the Bacchians attacked Thanos. Starlord would die in the battle, dying from an energy beam shot out of the behemoth creature's mouth. Always the hero, that Peter Quill. And at 7, GAMORA as Starlord from Earth TRN 421. This Starlord hails from Earth TRN 421, and it is GAMORA. She took up the mantle after the apparent death of Peter Quill. She first appeared in the Marvel 100th Anniversary Special Guardians of the Galaxy issue, which came out in 2014. This iteration of the team is also known as the Guardians of the Galaxy 2061, existing a whole century after Marvel's Silver Age. GAMORA, aka Starlord, leads the team, made up of Drax, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, and a space soldier named Charlie 27, who has the digital consciousness of Iron Man. Turns out that Peter wasn't actually dead though. It was revealed that he had become Galactus' herald, Vance Astro. But luckily he betrayed Galactus in order to help the Guardians save their base on Nowhere. Moving on to number 6, Earth X. The Earth X universe, Earth 9997, is a timeline in which the world has mutated due to the release of the Terrigen Mists. The Starlord in this universe would become one of 3 members of a group called the Realm Marvel, who were followers of Mar-Vell, wanting to aid him in his quest of killing the entity Death and building a paradise in the realm of the dead. Alongside Carol Danvers and Richard Rider, he would travel to the Negative Zone and enter a state of suspended animation, which would allow them to enter the realm of the dead. When fighting against Death's army, he was seemingly killed by Mephisto, who choked him and the other Realm Marvel members to death. But he would somehow survive though, and his activities after that would pretty much remain unknown. Still, not a bad stint on Earth X. And at 5, SINJIN QUARREL. SINJIN QUARREL is one of the other 616 versions of Starlord, the second to take up the mantle in 1996, first appearing in the fully painted miniseries Starlord. A young alien telepath, SINJIN was taught at the Brobiti Training Institute, where he underperformed with his grades. And because of this, he was assigned to a backwater world where he would stumble upon the sentient ship of Peter Quill, the previous Starlord. The ship had been missing for 12 years, and SINJIN helped it regain its memories and fight an alien Kingpin called Lawgiver Damyish. After helping, he would be given Quill's helmet and element gun along with the mantle of Starlord. Moving on to number 4, PEET from Infinity Wars. Infinity Wars was a series that came out in 2018 and carried into 2019, a story that revolved around a version of GAMORA folding the universe in half after she got the Infinity Stones, which caused characters to combine. For example, Captain America and Doctor Strange became Soldier Supreme. Now within this pocket universe, history was rewritten to combine the origins of these characters as well. And in the Guardians case, Peter Quill, Groot, and seemingly Rocket were all combined into a character called PEET, P-E-E-T. Leading up to the final conflict of the series, Emma Frost telepathically rallied all of the heroes in Warp World, which is what this pocket universe was called, and PEET participated. And just like Groot, he was fond of saying his own name, going around saying, "We are PEET," a whole lot. Up next, number 3, Kitty PRYDE. Kitty PRYDE is yet another version of Starlord who exists in the 616. Now for starters, PRYDE and Peter Quill have had one of the most entertaining romantic relationships in the comics for a good chunk of time. A relationship that would turn into a long-distance one, with the two later getting engaged and following the Guardians around in space. And briefly after that, Peter finds himself taking his father's place as the leader of the Spartax Empire. So when the 2015 Guardians of the Galaxy series came out, Kitty took his place on the team, adopting the Starlord mantle for a while until Quill returned to the team, and then their relationship began to grow sour. Their engagement was broken off. After Civil War II, Kitty left the Guardians altogether, rejoining the X-Men and even becoming the mutant team's new leader. Up next at 2, the original Starlord. Starlord is a character with a very intriguing history. First appearing in Marvel Preview issue 4 in 1976, a black and white magazine, Starlord wouldn't be an official part of the Marvel Universe canon until 2004. All of his prior adventures were retconned and then placed into an alternate reality instead. This version of Quill was an orphan after aliens killed his mother. He would go on to join NASA, which is how he encountered an alien called the Master of the Sun, who recruited him for an intergalactic police force. After his training was complete and he got over his mother's death, the Master of the Sun gave him a sentient spaceship. Then the character would fall into obscurity, with him making sporadic appearances and showing up in reprints until 2004, where he appeared in the Thanos comic, issues 8 to 12, and later in 2006 as part of Annihilation. Now creator Steve Englehart had big plans for this OG Starlord character, later noting on his website that, I quote, "My hero would go from being an unpleasant introverted jerk to the most cosmic being in the universe, and I would tie it into my then new interest in astrology. After his earthbound beginning, his mind would be opened step by step with a fast action story on Mercury, a love story on Venus, a war story on Mars, and so on out to the edge of the solar system and then beyond. But after his earthbound beginning, where I established him as an unpleasant introverted jerk, I left Marvel, so no one ever saw what he would become." Oof. And finally, in at number 1, Old Man Quill. Old Man Quill is from the same alternate Earth as Old Man Logan, Earth 807128, where the villains have united and thwarted the superheroes, and the US is now referred to as the Wastelands. Now appearing in a comic called Old Man Quill, this version of Peter has long retired from his days as the legendary outlaw Starlord. He had taken over for his father as the Emperor of Spartax before Red Skull had overthrown the USA, putting his spacefaring life on hold. He had 2 children who he named Meredith and Jason. But he is haunted by tragedy, feeling as if he abandoned the Guardians during a mission that resulted in Groot's death, and had become quite the nihilist, feeling as if his existence meant nothing. For 50 years he ruled, until the Universal Church of Truth attacked his planet, killed his family, and made him aware of the events happening down on Earth. Then the Guardians of the Galaxy showed up, whisking him off onto a mission that's the heist of a lifetime. Alright, there we have it friends. What other alternate versions of Starlord can you think of? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerds so you never miss another list like this. In the meantime though, thanks for watching friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.